Hello friends, I welcome you back once again to the class number 2 of Polymer Technology 1. So today we are going to see, which you have already seen the topic in your organic chemistry in your first year, if you remember, polymerization techniques. So people who know about polymerization techniques, they know that there are four main types of polymerization techniques: bulk, suspension, solution, and emulsion. So we're gonna see them one by one today. So we have studied so far the chemical aspects of polymerization reactions. The terminology included terms such as polymerization system, catalyst system, and solvent system. These refer to physical aspects of polymerization reactions, which can decide whether the monomer is polymerized in its condensed or gaseous state, whether it is polymerized as such or along with other inert components such as solvents and non-solvents. Factors such as the nature of the monomer, type of the polymerization mechanism chosen, the required physical form of polymer, and the viability of the process for industrial production are some of those dictating the physical conditions under which polymerization is to be carried out. These varying physical conditions lead to different polymerization techniques as enumerated in the following sections. So, in the organic chemistry, you have seen the various terminologies, okay, like catalyst, solvent system, and the chemical aspect of polymerization reaction means, what does it mean? It means the mechanism involved, like addition polymerization, condensation polymerization, cationic polymerization, anionic polymerization. So all these are basically reactions. So these are chemical aspects of polymerization. But today we are going to see the physical aspects of polymerization. The factors such as the nature of monomer, the type of mechanism chosen, and the required physical form of polymer, whether it is in the liquid form or in the solid form, and the viability of the process for industrial production are some of the dictating physical conditions under which the polymerization is to be carried out. So because of these physical conditions, there are four types of polymerization techniques: bulk, suspension, solution, emulsion. So let's just see one by one. Bulk polymerization. As you know, bulk polymerization is a very good technique and it is widely used in the industrial scale as well. The monomer is taken in the liquid state. So the first line you should remember. Here in this case, the monomer is taken in the liquid state. Another physical property defined by this technique of polymerization. So there is a lot of difference between the techniques and the mechanism, okay? So don't get confused between them, because mechanisms are basically the addition, condensation, ionic, cationic, anionic polymerization chemical reactions. Those comes in the mechanism part, and the types, okay, and types and techniques are related to bulk, suspension, solution, emulsion. So many people get confused and they mix up the two. So please get your concepts very clear when you are writing. Whatever the question is asked, you see it carefully and then write the answer. Okay, the monomer is taken in the liquid state and the initiator is dissolved in the monomer. Initiator, which initiates the polymerization reaction, right? So it is dissolved in the monomer. The chain transfer agent, whenever used to control the molecular weight, is dissolved in the monomer itself. So initiator is also dissolved, chain transfer agent is also. Chain transfer agent is basically to control the molecular weight. Like if you want a polymer of dp 200, so as soon as you get a dp of 200 or close to it, the chain is shifted and initiated on another polymer, so you get a 200 dp polymer. So it is dissolved in the monomer itself. The whole system is therefore in a homogeneous phase. You know, homogeneous phase when everything is in one phase. It's like solid, so complete solid, liquid, complete liquid. So here in this case it is liquid. The whole system is therefore in a homogeneous phase. The reaction mass is heated or exposed to a radiation source for initiating the polymerization and is kept under agitation for proper mass and heat transfer. So, whenever you want to initiate a reaction, you have to provide energy. This energy can be provided in the form of heat, or you can expose it to a radiation source. So, and then it is kept under agitation for proper mass and heat transfer. As the polymerization proceeds, the viscosity of the medium increases. This is a very important point. Whenever you are describing bulk polymerization, this point is important. As the polymerization proceeds, the viscosity of the medium increases and mixing becomes progressively difficult, leading to products with very broad molecular weight distribution. So, what happens? The viscosity increases, mixing becomes difficult because of the viscosity increase, okay, leading to products with very broad molecular weight distribution. So molecular weight will be very broadly distributed. What is broad molecular weight distribution? Like some having 10 molecular weight, then 100, then 200, then 300. So there is a broad molecular weight distribution. It means you are getting polymers having varying molecular weights. Another disadvantage of bulk polymerization is that as the medium gets viscous, the diffusibility of the growing polymer chain becomes restricted. The probability of chain collision becomes less, termination becomes difficult, active radical sites accumulate, and the rate of polymerization increases enormously. This whole phenomenon is called autoacceleration, and sometimes the uncontrolled exothermic reaction can lead to an explosion. So, what happens what is the disadvantage of bulk polymerization? The medium gets viscous. When it gets viscous, diffusibility of the polymer chain becomes restricted because the chain cannot go from one place to another because of the viscosity, so they keep on increasing, and the chain collision does not occur. As in the case of addition polymerization, termination occurs by chain collision, which you will see when we will see the addition polymerization. Okay, therefore chain collision does not occur, therefore termination does not occur. Termination does not occur means polymerization reaction does not stop, and active free radicals, they keep on accumulating, and more growing polymer chain is there, and then this is known as autoacceleration, and polymerization increases enormously, and sometimes this uncontrolled exothermic reaction can lead to an explosion. Because polymerization is an exothermic reaction, energy is liberated, and this can lead to an explosion, so which we don't want. So this is a disadvantage. Bulk polymerization, however, is quite simple, and the product obtained is of a very high purity, since except initiator and chain transfer agent, no other additive that could contaminate the product is used. So you see in bulk polymerization it is very simple, and you have only added initiator and chain transfer agent, no other additive, therefore no question of any kind of impurity. So therefore the product which you will get is very pure. The polymer obtained can also be used as such, since no isolation from the component is involved. Therefore whenever you get the product, you simply start using it, because you don't have to separate the components, okay, which are not required, as no additive was added. Finally, the bulk polymerization technique is used in the free radical polymerization of methyl methacrylate or styrene to get transparent molding powders and cast sheetings, and also of vinyl chloride to get PVC resin. So these are the examples where it is used. It is used in the free radical polymerization. Free radical polymerization is a chemical reaction in which initiator is used, and termination can occur by collision or disproportion, which you will see when you will see the free radical reaction. Then methyl methacrylate is produced by this bulk polymerization technique. Then styrene to get what? Molding powders, of transparent molding powders, and cast sheetings, and also vinyl chloride to get PVC resin. So these are the examples which you can give in bulk polymerization. Now whatever I have said, you can better understand this by a video. Okay, so just watch this video.
Now we discuss bulk polymerization. This is thermostat. This is a flask. This flask contains agitator. The flask is kept on thermostat. Now we are adding monomer. The monomer is in liquid state. Then we are adding the radical initiator with the chain transfer reagent. The whole content is heated with constant agitation. Now we can see how the initiation and the propagation steps are taking place. The growing chain polymers are terminated. We get the macromolecule of the polymer. The whole solution is poured into a suitable solvent. We can precipitate it out the polymer. This is the scheme of the bulk polymerization. Now we see the advantages of bulk polymerization. It is simple method. We get high purity of the polymer in this method. The disadvantages are viscosity of the medium increases, and hence mixing and control of heat is difficult. It is highly exothermic. Now we see the applications. Polymers obtained by these methods are used in casting formulation. It is also used as adhesives, plasticizers and lubricant additives. Thank you.
So okay class, now you understood pretty much everything about bulk polymerization, and if you want to see its comparison with other techniques, then we will see it later on as we discuss each one of the techniques as the time passes. So enough for today. Thank you.